It's not every day we start off the show with a rat, but it's not every rat that's praised for its intelligence, curiosity, work ethic, and for holding a Guinness World Record. Ronan is a 5-year-old rodent that works out of Cambodia. During the decades of war this Southeast Asian country saw in the 20th century, millions of landmines were placed in the ground. Cambodia is among the nations with the most. Unlike humans, rats weigh too little to trigger the mines or other ground-based explosives. So African giant pouched rats, like Ronan, have been trained to sniff out the chemicals of these weapons and uncover them without any harm being done to themselves or their human handlers. One organization that utilizes rats for the dangerous work says they've helped clear almost 170,000 landmines on several continents. And Ronan here personally uncovered 109 of them between 2021 and 2025. That makes him the Guinness World Record holder for sniffing out the most wartime explosives and much more of a hero than a pest. Hi, I'm Carl Azus. It means the world to have you watching the world from A to Z. You are the best part of what we do. A bill being considered by Florida's government is one example of how numerous states are trying to address an ongoing U.S. labor shortage. Because some of the proposed solutions are related to child labor, they're controversial. First, the problem. America has a shrinking workforce. It's been that way for decades. It's expected to keep getting smaller. Right now, the U.S. government says there are 8 million job openings in the country, but a little less than 7 million workers available. Some adults have retired early. Some young workers are looking to earn money online instead of in traditional jobs. The population overall is aging, partly because young adults aren't having as many children as previous generations. And observers in some communities say state and federal efforts to remove people who are in the U.S. illegally are reducing the available workforce. In Florida, lawmakers are considering a bill that would eliminate some state rules concerning child labor, including the hours teenagers are allowed to work. The bill's sponsor says Florida has stricter laws on this than the federal government. Some analysts say removing them would give teenagers the opportunity to earn more money and get more work experience. Critics are concerned that without the rules in place, some employers might treat young workers unfairly, possibly pressuring them to work longer hours, for instance. The bill's sponsor says parents would ultimately decide where and how long their kids would work.
For the owners of this classic America soda fountain in Tallahassee, loosening restrictions on child labor makes some sense.
Getting that half-hour break exactly at 4 hours or exactly at the right time so we don't violate is really hard to schedule.
For other business owners, it raises alarms.
We just hope it's not going to lead to kids having to make a tough decision as to whether they need to work or they can do those, things that everybody wants to do when they're kids.
A bill making its way through the Florida legislature would allow 16 and 17-year-olds to work more than 8 hours on a day when school is scheduled the next day and work over 30 hours a week during the school year without mandated meal breaks, and removes overnight work restrictions on 14 and 15-year-olds who are homeschooled, attend virtual school, or have already graduated. Governor Ron DeSantis argues this will help fill positions.
What's wrong with expecting our young people to be working part-time now? That's how it used to be when I was growing up.
We already are seeing high levels of absenteeism.
Sadaf Knight with the Florida Policy Institute says children can already work longer hours through a waiver process involving parents, guardians, or a school superintendent.
Parents are essentially being excluded from the process of the decision-making around how long and how much their kids work.
The bill is sparking protests from some young Floridians at the state capitol.
Child labor protections are a crucial backstop to prevent corporations from exploiting young people in the state.
In Tallahassee, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Is it constitutional? Before the 17th Amendment was ratified, U.S. senators were chosen by the Electoral College. True or false? This one's false. Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution originally had state legislatures choose senators. The 17th Amendment, ratified on this date in 1913, gave this power to the people of each state. On this date in world history.
history. On April 8, 1974, Hank Aaron became Major League Baseball's home run king. He hit his 715th career homer into the left field stands at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. He moved past Babe Ruth, who'd held the record for 39 years. Aaron would finish his career with 755 home runs. On this date in 1975, Frank Robinson became the first African-American manager in MLB history. The 39-year-old also played that day for the Cleveland Indians and hit his 575th career home run. Frank Robinson and Hank Aaron went into baseball's Hall of Fame together in 1982. And space history was made on April 8, 1993, when Ellen Ochoa became the first Hispanic woman to go there. Ochoa ultimately completed 4 missions as an astronaut and went on to become the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center from 2013 to 2018.
Word and knowledge. What nation is the world's largest producer of cork? Morocco, Indonesia, Brazil, Portugal. Morocco is a top producer of the material along with Spain, but more than 50% of the world's cork comes from Portugal.
Hard to believe that this comes from this, the cork oak tree. Here in Portugal, a cork harvest is underway. To keep business booming, producers are focusing on new ideas for cork products. But it all starts here. Workers strip the tree's bark with hatchets, being careful to avoid the inner wood.
You have to make a lot of cuts, like this one. The cork is firmly stuck to the trunk, and you have to make a lot of blows with a hatchet to get good planks out of it.
Just about every tree grows a layer of cork in its bark, but cork oak grows a uniquely thick layer, and it regrows after it's stripped from a tree, if you give it time. After stripping, the cork is cured in the sun and rain for about 6 months. Then it's treated in a factory with heat and water to give it more flexibility. Cork was used widely throughout history to make anything from bottle stops, to fishing nets, to shoes, to flotation devices. So what makes this stuff so useful? Its structure. Cork cells are waterproof, fire-resistant, and hollow, which makes cork lightweight and durable. Cork cells are honeycomb-shaped, so they can collapse minimally and spring back to their original shape very well. That's why cork is a great option for the tightly pressed job of a bottle stop. For better or for worse, now other materials like rubber and plastic have gained popularity where cork once ruled. Even the humble bottle stopper is fading away. Today, only about 5% of wine bottles are corked. Not only that, the industry as a whole has declined in recent years due to poor grape harvests. So now, companies like Corticera Amarin have been taking a page out of history's playbook to turn a profit, diversifying back to traditional products and more.
Cork naturally possesses unique characteristics that give us a super material for sound absorption, thermal insulation, and comfort in flooring. We're trying to demonstrate that cork can offer us much more.
Much more. From office furniture to housing materials to shoes, designers are hard at work reimagining what cork can be.
First 2 schools we're visiting today are for the birds, talking about the Falcons. Mr. Zimmerman's class is awesome like Fridays. They're watching from John F. Kennedy Middle School in Plainfield, Illinois. Talking about the Eagles, it's great to see Mrs. Rodden's class at Oklahoma Christian Academy. Hello to our friends in Edmond, Oklahoma. And from the ocean state of Rhode Island, we're happy to have Mrs. Weeks' class with us from Broad Rock Middle School. It's in the community of Wakefield. You often hear parents of young kids talk about the energy needed to keep up with them. Fortunately for some new parents at the Philadelphia Zoo, their babies are tortoises. So maybe not as much energy needed, except the parents are each believed to be almost 100 years old. That's one amazing thing. The other is that the 4 hatchlings are of a critically endangered species, Western Santa Cruz Galapagos tortoises, and they're the first offspring for their 97-year-old mom. Yes, their teenage years may bring some sharp retortices when they come out of their shell, making their parents wonder where test student D's cold-blooded kids came from, making mom want to snap back, Santa Cruz a distance away, or Galapagos somewhere else entirely. But it's an age-old struggle, and when you consider the life expectancy of a hare is less than 10 years, we know who won that race. I'm Carl Azus, and that's the world from A to Z.
Carl never